Alright guys, what's going on? I'm gonna do some chili for you guys today. It's gonna be kind of similar to the one I did almost a year ago. The only difference with this is I got these beef short ribs I'm gonna use instead of ground chuck or cubed up chuck. I'm gonna throw these in the Yoder YS640. It's gonna be about 275 degrees. I'm gonna smoke these for about 3 hours, just depending on how these look, and I'm gonna take them off. The point of smoking this is obviously it's gonna add flavor, but it's gonna render off some fat, so it's not gonna be so greasy when you throw them into the pot with all the other stuff. Because these, you know, short ribs are a pretty fatty cut, so you wanna kinda give it a chance to render off some fat before you throw them in there. Then we're gonna add the usual things like jalapenos, some diced up onions and serrano peppers. Then I'm gonna do a chili puree with some dried chilies. If you don't wanna do it with the dried chilies, you could always use chili powder as well. So you don't even have to season these before you put them on the smoker. You can throw them in unseasoned because we're gonna add all kinds of seasoning to the pot, but I'm just gonna put a little bit of salt just for the hell of it. And if you don't like spicy food, this is probably not gonna be for you. You could always use some Anaheim chilies or some other type of mild chilies and take out the seeds, but I'm gonna leave the seeds in because I like spicy food. This is pretty much a no bullshit chili. It's not gonna be for your little kids sitting there, you know, eating some chili, but it's some grown ass man chili. So check it out.
All right, so we got some Pasilla peppers and some California chilies. We're just gonna de-seed these. And the amount of chilies you're gonna have to use is kind of up to you depending on how much meat you're gonna use. I'm kind of eyeballing it, but I'll list all the ingredients below so you guys can check that out. All you gotta do is get some hot water, let these steep for about 10 minutes. I got the Chile de Arbol right there also. And usually you could toast these in a pan first, but I find it doesn't make a difference, so I'm just gonna leave it how it is. And we should be all right. We're just gonna blend this up. All right, so I said I was gonna smoke these for 3 hours, but it ended up being about 2.5 hours. They look pretty good, so I bring them inside. I'm just trimming off any excess fat that's still on there. We're gonna chop up the chili peppers and get the chili going. I got a few serrano peppers and a few jalapenos. I'm just gonna chop them up, and I'm using about 1.5 onions. I get some large onions, and then we're just gonna throw it all in a pot. And we're also gonna throw some extra seasonings in there, and the chili puree, and some beef broth, and that should be it. right, so after 2.5 hours, these short ribs are all finished. So I'm just gonna shred these up, and then we're gonna throw them back in the pot with all that chili. And all you really have to do at this point is just heat everything through and make sure it's hot. You're gonna go back and adjust for the salt and check the seasoning, and just skim any fat off the top, because there's still a lot of fat running through these short ribs. So you just have to check that, and that's pretty much it. All right, guys, there you have it. This is your smoked short rib chili. I thought it was gonna be crazy spicy, but it's actually not that bad. Definitely beefy, smoky, perfect amount of salt. It's not too salty and it's not under seasoned either. And then I'm doing it with the chips. If you don't like chips, you can always do it with rice or just however you like to do it. But all right, so the amount of short ribs I got were about, with the bones in, it was about 3.5 pounds. But after it cooks down and the fat renders off and you take the bones out, it was probably a little over a pound. So you're gonna have to kind of adjust the ingredients and the ratios just according to how much meat you got. It's gonna kind of be different for everyone, but man. And just a little bit of that Cotija cheese. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal if you throw some beans in here. I know people are gonna freak out if you do that, but there's a million different ways to do this. So if you like content like this, think about subscribing and try to think of what to make on the next video, but see you on the next one. Peace out.